Do you feel stuck with your results in the gym? Okay, in this video I will show you what I told to my client on how to achieve the results that he wants in the gym. So basically what I was doing was answering to a client that was unsatisfied about the results. In fact, this is the Italian letter that I prepared. But yeah, I asked ChatGPT to translate it so we can do the same way. So basically, I will try to do the same but in English because I think it's a very useful topic that everyone can benefit from. Okay. Hey Andre, yesterday Evelyn told me that you were feeling a bit disappointed because you're not seeing the results you expected. I completely understand, and it's absolutely normal to go through moments of frustration along the way. It's normal, yeah, because everyone, life is mess. Life is messy basically, so everyone goes through some bad moments, some, I don't know, up and down, whatever. So it's life, that's why. So it's normal. And I understand. Sometimes even the frustration can be brought somewhere else. But because this guy, so Andre, okay, let's try to talk as I'm talking to him. But because you are a very rational, science-driven person, as I am, I'd rather speak you clearly and constructively, as I always do. So being a personal trainer requires yes knowledge, but even data. Because in the end, it all comes down to data and priorities. So even the emoji is nice. So talking about the nutritional side. So during our last call, I pointed out how important it was to keep a closer eye on your diet, especially considering the tendency to include fatter foods like chocolate or other items that raise your daily fat intake. I mean, the fat are important, yes, but we need to consider even the amount because, especially with bodybuilding, carbs are the main priorities. And yes, fats are very, very important. We will talk later about this because fats are essential to manage basically the hormonal levels. But an excessive amount of fats has a negative effect because, let's say, if combined with a caloric surplus that is noticeable and especially with high carbs as well, what happens? Happens that our body is happy to store those fats easily, and increasing the amount of fat percentage, body fat percentage in our body, this has a negative consequence from the bodybuilding side. I know every strength coach can say that is the opposite, blah blah blah, yes, but science is pretty clear on this. So basically when our body fat percentage rises to levels that are above 15%, because the ideal range looks like to be 10-15% to increase the muscle mass. So above 15%, especially above 20% of body fat, basically our nutrients are kind of taken with a priorities from the fat cells, and that's the point. So basically there is a competition between fat cells and muscular cells because they both use GLUT4 receptors. What happens when basically the fat cells increase in size because basically the body fat percentage rises? This basically remove the priorities from the muscular cells and gives it to the fat cells. So it's easier to stock fat in a certain way. I know that sounds very tricky and especially like no sense for lots of people. I try to simplify as best as possible, but let's try to take like this. Maybe in future videos I will go deeper on biochemistry and everything, but let's say that if our body fat percentage is between 10-15%, we have kind of better uptake of nutrients from the muscular cell. Above 15%, especially above 20%, basically are the fat cells to have the priorities. Let's put them this way. So that's why it's so important to don't focus too much on fat intake and focus more on the carbs, because for carbs is a bit harder for our body to stock as fat, because it needs the gluconeogenesis process, so conversion of carbs in fat that is pretty rare, so this kind of stuff. Okay, so going back. So basically, I completely get that work stress doesn't help. I totally understand. This is for everyone. In fact, just up this Friday, you told to Eliana, that is our nutritionist, that you were craving sugar and carbs. It's normal, totally understandable. That's why we adjusted your plan during those more stressful periods. So basically, we made training and nutrition lighter, even during trips and vacations. You always preferred, because he never wanted to stress too much with the gym, and that's okay. So not everyone wants to stress about this, but of course, if results then become your top priority because you disappoint to not have results, then we need to follow the science and focus on what truly matters. That's the point. And I understand. Even me, just today I was talking to a colleague because he was a personal trainer in the gym. I told him that gym right now is not my priority. My priority is to focus on business, growing my business, my social accounts, this kind of stuff. And I don't want to focus on training, stressing, going to the limit, coming back home tired and everything. I want to just maintain my body right now. Yeah, maybe I'm even getting a bit worse. That's okay, but because this is not my priority right now. But if our priority changes and becomes to have results in the gym, we need to shift our focus as well. So in the gym, it always comes down to priorities. You need to decide whether you want to maintain the progress you've achieved so far with a more sustainable and less demanding plan. That is exactly what we did with you. Let's talk to you. And especially don't downplay those results, because you did great improvements in strength and muscle mass, especially in strength, because he always been a very skinny guy, the art gainer, let's say, and he became very strong, like lifting even 30 kgs dumbbells. That, imagine a very skinny guy lifting this weight. This is massive results. So please don't devaluate what you did until now. Even the muscle mass, maybe not as much as you initially hoped, that's okay, but considering where you started, that you were very lean, this is a very good improvement. Or you ready even to put the second option, is to put in more effort and seriously aim for a more visible physical transformation. But in that case, the game changes, require more dedication, more attention, and a different level of commitment. Okay, let's look at the actual numbers. Over this past month, we kept the training volume very light, 5 exercises of 3 sets each. I double checked to be sure, and yes, that's what we said. So basically, 5 exercises, not even compound, because he didn't want to stress about the training. I repeat, I totally understand it. But this kind of training isn't mean for growth. This is only for maintenance, because basically there is a kind of maintenance volume to not lose the results achieved until now. This is even what I'm doing in the gym. So minimum volume, even if it's between 8 to 10 reps, 8 to 10 sets, basically for muscular group. This is what you need to do in order to maintain. And we choose this approach consciously, respecting your stress level, do what happened with your colleague. And that's okay. But keep in mind that hypertrophy, so muscle growth, is based on clear scientific principles, which you can look into yourself. I put even the Eric Helms parameters. So basically we require more sets, because as I said, 8 to 10 reps is the minimum, and 12 in the main muscular groups is just above the minimum. This is not enough to grow, especially because it doesn't go to the limit, so it keeps some buffer, etc. So there is no margin to improvement. Shorter rest periods. This one is a strategic trade-off. I will explain later. So basically, Andrea sent to me, let's talk towards him. So basically you sent to me once that increasing rest time, because he always like to rest more, and it's okay. He found even the research that is totally true, that increasing rest time basically allows to improve more. But why this happens? Because basically in order to improve we need volume and intensity mainly. And of course, with longer rest period, we can increase the amount of weights or the amount of reps with the same weights. So basically, we increase what we do, and it's okay. Hey, he always wanted to rest more, so I even found some researches about this, and that's why I like him, because he's very scientific as well. And basically, what happened that we need even shorter rest period as a strategic trade-off. Why? Because if we want to keep the total gym time low, I know that you want to spend forever in the gym, we need to reduce the rest period. That's the point. So I know you don't like shorter rest time that are not very short, but it takes long times. And basically we need to keep shorter. Let's say 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes, for example, in order to increase the amount of volume, in order to keep up with the busyness of the gym, because it's a very busy gym, Canning Town in London. And even stricter dietary control, because we cannot do the things randomly, because it doesn't work that way. Not a recovery time, yeah. So basically, I remember you once shared a study with me about longer rest period, blah blah blah. Training volume still takes the lead in most scientific literature. I'm touching the chart below here. And if we don't want to increase the total time in the gym, we need to cut down rest periods. It's all a matter of choosing your trade-off. That's the point. So more volume, more sets. Because basically the volume is the amount of total reps multiplied by the amount of the kgs that we lift. So basically we want to have more sets, because basically we cannot lift from 30 kgs, 100 kgs at once. And so we need more sets or more reps in a certain way, because even there, yeah, you can do unlimited amount of reps. So for example, bodyweight squat, yeah, are they useful? Not really, because basically there is the intensity as well. So we need to be closer to the failure point, because yeah, we can do 200 squats that are a lot of reps, but are they useful? No, because basically there is lots of buffer from the muscle failure, so they are kind of useless. We will go deeper in this maybe in more detailed video. Right now it's not useful. But the point is that we need more volume with, I don't want to say some maximal sets, but almost. Less time, so shorter rest, and less effort equal fewer results. So in the end, we can't have it all. So that's the reality. Once we get clear on the priorities, everything becomes much easier to manage. So, as I mentioned earlier, it all comes down to priorities. Here are a few important details we shouldn't overlook. So, heavy weights, these are also important. Like I was telling before, if you don't always feel confident lifting heavy loads, and that's totally normal, because everyone is afraid of very heavy lifts, because you don't know what happens, and especially you, because basically we were training together and there was a guy doing the bench press who got injured. Basically the barbell fell off on his chest and basically broke one, how do you call this, one rib, yeah. And it was kind of scary in a certain way, because he couldn't move, he couldn't breathe properly, so it wasn't nice situation, but that's okay. And even you in this guy basically he got injured with the clavicular side. It was a very strange injury, because he was doing deep, and in a certain way he had a microfracture on the clavicular bone. It was very strange, but yeah. So I understand not feeling confident lifting heavy loads. We can adjust shortening the time rest periods, because basically with less rest the effort increases, And this way you don't need to use very heavy weights, because since the warm-up we kind of go closer to failure with less rest time and less weights. We can do that. Exercise selection, of course, even if exercises are not so important, basically we need to have a kind of selection that covers all the areas that we require. Because we're doing 5 exercises totally for the whole training, but this means that we are sacrificing some angles, some important exercises. Plus the exercise selection was very light because we don't want compound, because they are kind of tiring, always busy in this kind of stuff. So we cannot expect massive results just doing chest press, for example. We can do 20 sets of chest press, but that's not ideal. That's the point. So we need to choose even the exercise selection better, having the hypertrophy goal in mind. So we can use the Smith machine, totally fine. We can do the flat one, the inclined one, the decline one, for example, whatsoever. But we need to have like a kind of variety. And the problem in that gym is that he's very busy, especially in the evening. That is the time that he goes there, and that's complicated because it's very busy. And I understand you need to ask to other people to jump in, and that's even uncomfortable, but we need to choose what to sacrifice. And even to ask something that we need to push eventually. Using the Smith machine is totally fine. We still need a solid strategy, meaning volume and intensity. Travel and vacation. So once again, it's all about priorities, because you travel a lot, for work, for holidays, this kind of stuff. But we cannot put the training and nutrition aside on hold every time that you fly, and then when you come back we need to recover the volume, etc. Because basically, in order to improve in the gym, we need a progressive overload in the volume, for example. So basically the amount of weights that we lift in each session should raise. And if every travel we come back because you have kind of let's call it like a pause period, and of course when you need to come back you need to use lighter weights because you didn't train or you didn't eat properly, basically we are choosing to not progress over time. That's the point. So even there we need to focus on training, especially nutrition. To sum it all up, so we're here to support you, and I'm here personally to guide you step by step, even after each session. So even during your workouts, if you like that, if you prefer, I can take Evelyn's place that is managing your training and everything. But at this point the decision is yours. So do you prefer to keep training and nutrition in a lightweight, as we were doing, with no pressure, in order to don't stress even the gym? Or are you ready to put in more effort in both areas and chase even bigger results? Because unfortunately, that's what it all boils down to. So, I know, I totally understand. Like I said, I'm in a stressful period. I actively choosing to not focus in the gym. This is what I was telling to my colleague today in the gym. My priority is not the gym. But I'm doing this consciously because I know that being not my priority, basically, I cannot expect to improve. Actually, I can expect to get worse in a certain way. But that's totally fine because my priorities is another one. But if you want to prioritize training and results, we know what we can do. So let me know what you'd like to, how you'd like to move forward. I'll be more than happy to guide you through every step. So looking forward to hearing from you, because I'm always happy to hear from you. I always liked you, and I'm always happy to make my clients improve over time, because this makes me joyful. I'm here, so that's it. And if anyone is looking for this video and want to improve, this is the key for everything. So let me know, comment, let me know your thoughts about this, and I'll see you in the next one.